So first I want to start off by saying TikTok made me do it. I basically seen this girl on my For You page talking about how she was gonna fight her man and another girl, whether she knew about her man or not, and how she felt like the girl was lying about not knowing her man prior and knowing that he was taking and she was gonna fight. And all I could do was think to myself like, there's no way in the hell that I want to be that desperate for men in my life. So I was just like, that's kind of dumb. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you gonna sit there and have somebody cheat on you, how about you just shut up? Because instead of you going out there and fighting every single girl and doing all this other stuff, I said you're gonna come across the right one, and then they either gonna send you to jail or they're gonna unalive you. Because I'm telling you right now, people don't like to get ran up on, especially about no nigga. Because here's my whole entire thing. I've had friends who were close like this to me who have slept with people. So I used to talk to this dude. His name used to be Lil Tupac, right? Lil Tupac was fine as hell. He was just 4'11", fine as fuck, looked just like Tupac. That's why we call him Lil Tupac. Lil Tupac and I were dating. Little Tupac slept with this girl who I was close with. And the only reason, part of the reason why I wanted to beat her ass was not because she wanted to sleep with my man, it's because she was a white girl calling me the N-word, okay? And for me, myself, and I don't really play all that extra, oh, you're a nigga. Don't call me no nigga, don't call me shit. Bitch, if you don't look black, and you can't show me that, bitch, I don't want to hear you say the N-word come out your mouth. And quite frankly, if I gotta question you, bitch, I don't want to hear the N-word come out there, motherfucker. And I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I don't care, it doesn't bother me. You will not be around me because that is disrespectful as fuck, and I don't give a fuck what excuse you have. If you're not black, you can't say the word. Do not care. And that's why I wanted to fight her, right? And after I realized, like, fuck this job, I'm finna quit, because I literally told them, like, because after she slept with my man, she started throwing, like, microaggressions and shit at me. And I tried to, like, really not make it about my partner or my ex-boyfriend, but she just kept on bringing it up. Like, oh, yeah, that's why I slept with him. So, boom. Another girl, she knew that this dude was close to me. I told her, like, oh, da 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 da. Used to call him Lemonhead. So I slept with Lemonhead, and I was like, oh yeah, I slept with Lemonhead, but I didn't let him in my house. This girl literally started housing Lemonhead and fucking on him daily and telling me about it, and I was just like, girl, did you honestly think that I wanted that man? Boom. Another scenario. I've had a very, very close friend of mine sleep with the very first love of my life. And before you say, oh my gosh, how could you say that's the love of your life? I knew this man for 7 years, and we were in love for about 2 before he started fucking up. Almost played house, almost had a nigga babies, did a whole bunch of other shit. And yes. That's where I had my toxic era. Toxic. Ooh, toxic. I was very toxic. So when it comes down to it, when I say I am not the type to fight no girl or guy about my I used to fight my nigga, but fighting a girl, could never do it. It's just something in me that just didn't feel like doing that. And I don't know if it's because I have a genuine respect for women and knowing how men will lie or that people will lie, and whether they know it or not, I didn't make a commitment with. I didn't, like, my thinking is, if I didn't make a commitment to you, and whether we friends or not, and you do some grimy shit, I don't have to respond back to you, and I don't have to give you the time of day or energy to do it either. So if I don't have to give you that and do all of that, what makes you think that I want to spend my time and energy doing be so fucking for real? But back to the story. So boom, I met this dude. And let's just say I was being a whore, a little slut, if you will. And after being a little whore and a little slut, I decided to give up the poom poom to my Uber driver. After giving my poom poom to the Uber driver, I basically came in. I'm getting sleepy because I'm high right now. Shit, I gotta hurry for the third time. So boom, after giving the poom poom to the driver or whatnot, I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's not that bad, whatever. Like, this is fun with one night stand. He wanted to get to know me more on a better level. He asked for my number. I gave him my number. He did not say that he had kids, a baby mom, or anything like that. So we were talking for about 6 months. At month 5, he told me he had kids because we were on date night. And while we were on date night, what happened? He was like, "Oh, I gotta go. My baby mama is talking about she want to leave my kids at the house and the door because she's upset and all this other stuff, and I gotta get my kids." I was like, "Okay, go get your kids." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm fucking the baby daddy. I gotta go." Right? And because he didn't, mind you, he didn't tell me he had none of this shit. So when he dropped it on me, I was like, "There's no fucking way." Like that he thinks that that's okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, cool, right? So I gotta get off the dick. So at month 6, I was just so mad because I was like, damn, I really gotta get off this dick. Because he says he made a joke about getting me pregnant, and I was like, and I'm team fuck them kids. Like everybody who's out there pushing out babies, shout out to y'all. But as team fuck them kids, I do not want to have kids. I will gladly teach your kids. I will gladly mentor your kids. I will gladly, you know what I'm saying? But actually push them little motherfuckers out my coochie, fuck no. They just expensive, all right? Very expensive. So boom, I'm sitting there and I'm minding my business. And while I'm sitting there minding my business, like kind of we get to month 6, he made a baby joke, and I was like, man, that's just not my thing. That's not my stilo. So I was like, damn, I gotta get off the dick. So I just started to ghost him because I was like, fuck it, there's no way I'm gonna do it. Like if he don't like make a move. So after I ghosted him, I was like, oh, this is nice. So he came back, right? And I tried my hardest to get this nigga up off me. I was like, oh man, da da da. And then he got my attention again, and then he ghosted me, and I was like, yes. And I know you're like, why are you saying yes that he ghosted you? Because if a nigga ghosts you, that means 9 out of 10 he does not want to be with you. And if he don't want to be with you and he ghosts you, most dudes have a degradation kink, so they get off on making you feel bad. So if he thinks that hurts my feelings, I'ma just like egg it up. You know what I'm saying? So just in case he ever come back, I can, do the manipulation game. Because fuck it, if we being toxic, shit, let's just be toxic all the way. And it makes great for a way for rejecting people. Like if I don't want to be with you and I can't tell you no, or I know that you might not leave me alone, I could easily just say, oh my gosh, did you know I just to keep it all entirely being, I'm the queen of if a nigga want to leave, I'm going to let him leave. And however he leaves, I'm going to camp it up and I'm going to make it seem like it's the worst thing that ever happened to me in my whole entire life. Not because sometimes that shit does hurt. But sometimes when I'm faking it and pretending like, oh my gosh, I'm just so hurt, it's the end of the world, it's because I don't want that person to come back into my life. And I want them to feel like they really got one up on me and they really did their just due. Because most men, is the most toxic men, tend to show signs of just a lot of shit, like of not liking me, of not wanting to be there, of getting joy out of my pain. So bitch, if I gotta camp up the pain for them to feel like, oh man, she really did, like, oh man, I really did that for them to leave me alone, that's what I'll do. So mind you, I camped him. So mind you, he ghosted me and he came back like sometime later. And after he ghosted me, he ended up apologizing. And let me tell you how I got my attention. So on Cash App, I got $1. I was like, who was sending me money? Because like last time I checked, unless it's one of my sugar daddies trying to get back, it's just not gonna happen, Puka Roots. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, whatever, it's not him. I'm like, who the fuck is this? So it's like, oh, call me babe, all this other stuff. So I'm like, who is this? I call privately. And he's like, oh, it's me. And he started going down memory lane. Right. And this is where, remember when I said earlier, like I like to put on the dramatics for like a breakup, because especially if it goes me. So I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be the perfect thing to be like, nah, I don't really feel comfortable. And he said, this how he got me, y'all. He said, let's go to your favorite place. My favorite place is the melting pot. And if you know about the melting pot, bitch, you know. If you know, you know, okay? You gotta have reservations, all that shit. So, boom. I'm like, how you got, like, little reservations for that? Like, last minute he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I put my, oh, I can go do like book a table and we can probably go there, and if we can, we'll just go to the bar and all the other stuff. Lucky for us, nobody was there, so with no reservations, like we did all that shit. So boom, we having a time of our lives, balling out, having a great time. Boom, at the end of the night, he comes and we do our due, because you know we're whores, we're sluts, and the dick ain't never not been good. It just ain't been worth riding on. So I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, so we were talking, and he asked me like, why? Like he asked me like, why didn't I fight for him after he ghosted me? And I was like, because you started talking about babies. And I said, I don't really like want babies. And I said, I feel like if you already got kids, why would you want to make me like baby mama number 2 or some shit like that? And I said, speaking of which, I said, you never really talked about her. And I said, last time we talked about her, you said that she was crazy and all this other stuff, and how you was like leaving her. And quite frankly, I just want you to be okay with your kids, because I'm not really like stepmother material. And I said, this is fun and all, but I don't really think I could do this again. And he was like, nah, post me on social media. I'm gonna be here for the long haul. I'm riding with you to the wheels fall off. Like, baby, it's us. Like, I genuinely want to be with you. So I'm like, this is not like really my stilo, because it's not giving I want to be with you. It's giving more like we going through like the motions. So I was like, he was like, oh, trust me, post me on social media, da da da. So mind you, because we follow each other on social media, I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. In the back of my mind, I wasn't gonna post it until I realized he was in all my pictures. So it's not like I could not post it, because I'm not gonna hold y'all. Sometimes I go on social media to stun on y'all from like every blue moon. Like, I just want to show y'all like little pieces of my life. And when I say stun on y'all, I mean like bring y'all into my world, because I'm very picky with who I have in my space. Because just me in general, I personally don't like that shit. Like, when people talk about things like, oh my gosh, it's so easy to do this, oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's hard now. Like, oh my gosh, it's so fun, I come on here to flex. Like, I personally don't like putting my personal life on social media. A lot of times, like, the shit I talk about on social media is because I'm over it, and that's dead and gone. But a lot of times, I really don't like to put my personal business on social media. Like, I like to keep things behind my ear, because what's my business is my business. What's your business is going to be your business. So I'm sitting there and I'm like having this conversation or whatever. And in the middle of me having a conversation with him about like the whole kid thing, he starts saying, oh, I'm sick, my stomach hurt, oh god, I should have ate before I did all this other stuff. So we're in the hotel. I'm like, okay, we can stay here for the night and we can just go to sleep. I said, but I know I want to go home, so I'm probably gonna Uber home. And he was like, no, let me just take you home, all this other stuff. And I was like, but you need to rest. And I was like, he was like, nah, I think I'm gonna just check out the hotel. There, right there, I was like, And now you're like, why would you always end it at a hotel? I mean, myself and the niggas stay all the way. Because when I was in Miami, the niggas stayed in Broward. And for me, myself and I didn't like being in Broward. And I was going through some family shit. And I did not want to be nowhere near them niggas, because the niggas tried to, like, unalive me, literally. And I was just like, I know me, bitch. The moment I step into the hood, all the hood niggas go fuck with me. And I know y'all thinking it's like something sexual. It really isn't. Like, y'all, I was when I say I'm truly spoiled, I'm truly spoiled. Like, all the hood niggas love me. And for me, myself, and I just didn't feel like having to explain who all the niggas was in my circle and who I dealt with, because quite frankly, a couple wanted to be my boyfriend again. And I was just like, I don't really think I could do that, because quite frankly, it's giving fuck no. Yeah, it's giving kids, it's giving baby daddy, it's giving broke, it's giving can't really afford to take you out, but I can eat that ass real good. And I didn't feel like having to do that shit tonight. So I was just like, okay, let's just stay down here, because my house is like literally right here. We've already been in this area. It'll be easier right here. And his brother like stayed nearby by my house. So I'm like, oh, that'd be beneficial for you because you can do all this other shit, right? So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking this shit makes sense. Like, okay, like if you want to be here, like let's go here because I'm very private and personal. And I like to have little hotel parties. I don't give a fuck. Like, if they got a house, like, that's cool. But, bitch, a hotel party will always motherfucking do it. Like, being at your house is cool. But, bitch, like, every 5 times that you gotta go at least, like, book me a hotel. Like, do something nice. Like, with the little flower shit up there. I'm the type of girl. I share. So, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, cool. Right? So, I was like, yeah, something's off about this shit. So, I posted the pictures that night. Tagged him in it. Did not hear from this man for 2 days. I know you're like 2 days. It's not that bad. It's not that terrible or whatever. So I'm just like, okay, cool. So I decided to go back because after he told me to tag him, I'm like, that's weird. Like, why would you tell me to tag you and say I'm the realest? This man gave me the I'm the realest nigga you're ever gonna meet and love in your whole entire life speech, and I was just like, shut the fuck up with that bullshit. Especially when the lies come out your mouth. It feels like like I didn't, like I genuinely wanted to like throw up in my mouth because I was like, ugh, that shit's disgusting. Like I've never met such mediocrity in my life feel so great. Like I've never seen trash that just like set his stuff up for failure. And I know you're like, oh, you're talking all this shit now, but when he was giving me the speech, this is my face. Realist nigga. Post me, and in the back of my mind, some say don't post his money on social media, he's not worth it. So, but I still posted him because, like I say, he was in most of my pictures. So it's not like I had a picture without him. So boom, after getting this, so after doing that, and 2 days of him not talking to me, I'm like, okay, let me go check his social media just to make sure like he's okay. So boom, I check his social media, and this is before he blocked me. And I was like, okay, cool. He didn't have any reels or anything like that. And this is before, so I'm like, I'm just scrolling. I'm like, So something says go to like so my intuition said go to the people who tagged him. So I go to people who tagged him and his baby mama who had just given birth to their baby because she just had that just delivered belly. So it's like where you have like still some of the baby fat left, and it's just like what you call it, and she's like, oh, without you all this my heart. And I'm just like, there's no fucking way, right? So boom, I sit there, right, and I'm just scrolling through the tag shit, right, and this man has not tagged her in one post, not a one, but she's constantly tagging him in posts, right? So I'm like, oh, I get it. I see the dynamic now. And if you don't see the dynamic is basically he is one of those playboys who's in a committed relationship who cheats, and he cheats because it's convenient. Not only does he cheat because it's convenient, he cheats because he knows that he can get away with it and his partner's going to allow it. So therefore, even though she does all these things to try to validate their relationship, he's never going to address them and appreciate her as that, because she has been the down bad bitch, the bottom bitch who's going to stay there regardless. Because when he didn't have money, she was still there. When he did have money, she was still there. When he was cheating, she was still there. Even after she was cheating, he was still there. So for me, myself, and I wanted sisters. I just wanted sis to know, like, hey, shorty, like, your man's is out here cheating, all this other stuff. Because as somebody who got cheated on, for me, myself, and I personally believe in, I don't like when people get cheated on. I feel like it's sad, and I feel like if you know something, say something. So I was telling her like just the tea, because to me, I was like, okay, cool. If I tell you the tea, like, move accordingly, right? And don't think of me as an op. She blocked me, he blocked me. And I was like, okay, cool. I know that dynamic. Because, you know what I'm saying? He gonna make me out to be the op. A year and a half later, I'm thinking I'm so done with this shit. This girl, she texted me, she said, I'm gonna beat your ass fuck with my man. And I said, girl, please leave me the fuck alone. And because I'm back in my mind, I'm thinking it's my stalker's ex-wife, because she had a tendency to tell me that I was unkempt, unholy, and a whole bunch of other stuff, because they're church going people. Like, my stalker and his wife are very religious. Like, the stalker is a religious leader in the church. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, oh man, I got toxic on my ass again. I literally get there and I'm like sending screenshots, and I'm like, yes, please tell your nigga to leave me the fuck alone. Tell y'all go to God with that shit. You feel me? And She's like, oh, you're such a whore, you're such a slut. And I was like, who the fuck is this? And she's like, oh, you don't remember me? This is Jay's baby mama, da 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 da. So I'm thinking like, not the same Jay that blocked me, right? And she says, yes, I blocked you because my man said that you're a liar, and I'm gonna just come down there and beat your ass. She's like, I got your address. I said, ma'am, I don't stay there anymore. And if you come to the super house, I'm pretty sure they're gonna call fucking police if there's anybody still living there. And I said, secondly, I said, she's like, oh, where do you stay at? I said, I don't even stay there. I told her what state I moved to, because the bitch is not finna. She's like, oh, I'm gonna catch a flight, and I'm gonna be on your street, and when I see you, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I said, man, please don't lose everything that you have trying to fight me over a man. And she goes, oh no, I can fight you over this man, bitch. My body looks good. I've lost the weight. And now I'm finna swing on your ass. Da 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 da. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, you got your body done, and it looks nice. Because she's told me a bitch of her, like, trying to, like, flex on me. And I'm like, congratulations on your weight loss, right? And I know you're like, why would you say that shit to her, Drea? I don't know. Like, I just genuinely don't know. It wasn't to be, like, petty or conniving. It's just, like, congratulations on your weight loss, sis. Like, bitch, if you go out there and you lose some motherfucking weight, bitch, congratulations, okay? So, she had, like, the weight loss. She got her body done. I don't give a fuck how she lost weight. She got her body done, a whole bunch of other stuff. And I was like, okay, well, you know, whatever. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not finna tell you what I said. She's like, oh, you're scary, you're a bitch. I said, if I tell you what I said, you pop up, I promise you I'm gonna call the police. So she goes, oh no, you won't. So at this point in time, I'm getting annoyed because now she's treating me as if I'm her man's, and she has an issue with me. So while she's doing all these things, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, there's no way, there's no possible way to say this politely. So as politely as I could tell her, I was like, look, at the end of the day, I did not know about you, and I told you that in the first message when I first sent it to you. I said, literally, this man told me X, Y, and Z to go post all these pictures on the internet, and he did the whole speech and spill. I even showed you the video. He was like, post me on your IG, post me on your IG, you know what to do, you know what it is. And I said, so what makes you think I did it? She says, oh, you seduced him and you drugged him. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I couldn't even drug myself. I know you're like, that's totally different now. But like, she said I roofied this man, drugged him, and did other things. And I was like, where would you get that from? She's like, oh, that's what he said you did, and that's why he cheated. And I said, I don't even drive. Because I don't like driving. I don't like putting in effort to be on the road with other people. What makes you think I have it in me to do those things? I wouldn't even know where to begin to get the things to do such activities with, and I do not want to know where to get them at. And I was like, I get it, whatever. So she's going off on me, and I was like, okay, you're right, whatever. And then she goes, oh, well, I'm going to pop up into your house. I want to find your location, and I want, girl. And I told her, I said, please don't lose your freedoms over a man. I said, because if you come over here trying to fight me, I'm going to send you to jail. Most definitely. And I said, baby girl, I don't know if you know this or not, but the state I live in is extremely problematic. They do not like niggas at all. If I call the police and tell them how you came in out here trying to fight me, girl, you will be in handcuffs in less than 10.5 seconds. And they will be, and let me tell you what they will be doing. They will be asking questions later. Not sooner. Later, okay? And they are not very just around here, ma'am. So if I was you, I would go find my business and I would stay there. And she goes, oh, see, that's why you scary. And I said, I'm not fucking scared. I'm just not gonna fight you over a dude who I have not seen in over what, a year and a half. She said, yeah, but that's not the point. You said, I said, girl, do you honestly think that I would want to share a man who has kids? And she said, yeah. I said, I don't even have kids. I don't even want kids. I'm team fuck them kids. And she, like, it was just so much egg on this bitch face. It was just so embarrassing. I don't want to have kids. This is why I stopped fucking with him originally. And it's like every time I say something, like I could just feel her breakdown a little bit. And I know you're like, oh, you really enjoyed this. I did not. I literally had to tell her, like, I don't want to fight you. It's getting tiring. This is OD. I thought we handled this last year. If you had real questions, you should have said something. You need to use your common sense. And she goes, okay, well, I'm not going to leave him. I'm going to say my says, don't you ever fuck him again. I said, ma'am, the goal was to never see that man again. And I said, thank you for reinforcing that for me. And I said, next time you need to check your man instead of coming for me, trying to check me, because it's very ghetto of you. And I said, it's low class. You like, you about to give it, you about to give up, you about to lose custody of your kids, a whole bunch of other stuff, because you know the nigga not going to take care of the kids when you get locked up. And then on top of that, you're going to have to probably send the kids to your mama house, some shit like that. And I said, you're going to do all this for a man that's still going to go out there and cheat on you the moment that you get locked up, Asha. And she goes, oh. And then she just like, the bitch just like, I'm finna beat your ass still. And I just blocked the bitch because I'm like, I'm not finna fight you. So she started calling me private. And I was like, ma'am, this is harassment. If you keep it up, I promise you there'll be a restraining order on your ass quicker than you can say your first and last name. And I said there's a lot of shit I don't play about. And I said, to be arguing with you about a nigga is fucking pointless, because a nigga gonna do what a nigga gonna do. And she was like, oh, you're young, you don't know. And at the back of my mind, I was thinking, yes, I do fucking know, because I have been cheated on. It's not rocket science. Like, literally, I have been cheated on. And to make one incident worse, the girl who kept on calling me the N-word slept with my man the day after Thanksgiving and took my nigga from me. So literally, Thanksgiving, had this man at my house, literally eating my mama's food, everything else, you know what I'm saying? To go out there and cheat on me. So before y'all say like, oh man, a holiday suck, bitch, Thanksgiving was hard, ho. I literally had a man on Thanksgiving that the next day I was a complete single woman, and I damn near lost my fucking job. So before y'all say, oh, well, it's not that bad, it can be that, it was terrible. And as much as I knew this bitch, I did not want to fight her for the reason why you think I did. I know you're like, oh man, it's just the word, when a bitch is constantly calling you a nigger, trying to get underneath your skin and throwing microaggressions at you, and you've tried everything that you can do peacefully, bitch, sometimes a slap in the mouth do just fine. So when I say this right here, and I say this right here, do not ever give up your freedom, the shit that you have, for somebody who's not loving you. Whether it's a he, she, them, they, whatever the fuck they want to be. Do not give up your freedom and your peace of mind for somebody that's gonna just do the same shit to you. Because I'm telling you right now, that man is still out there cheating. That man ain't not doing what he's supposed to do, not even with his new relationship. And the reason how I know is because he constantly tell me like, oh man, I'm still cheating. She accept me for who it is. If you could have just stayed down 10 toes. And I don't even try to talk to this man. The other dude sent me a fucking dollar after what? Months of not talking to him? After he had a whole baby and child. Bitch, if you think I'm finna lose my peace of mind over a man that don't even want to take care of his responsibilities at the crib, you got me fucked up. Baby, self-love is the best love. And this is why I'm gonna constantly always preach, love thyself. Because in that situation, I could have literally either lost my life or either went to or sent a bitch to jail because of a man. Like, shorty was willing to pay for a $405 flight, right? A hotel, all this other shit to come down here and fight me. Girl, you can't even fight in fucking snow. Bitch, it's 20 degrees. You gonna freeze to death before you even get there. And I was just like, it's giving ghetto. It's giving no self-love. It's giving, you got your body done, but your heart still hurt. It's giving, you should have bought therapy before you bought that body. It's giving, you need to learn how to love yourself without that man in your life. So the message of this whole entire shit is to love yourself, do the right thing, and stop putting your hand on fucking people. You do not have to fight everybody. Everybody's not gonna like you. You're not gonna be popular. Sometimes you're not that girl. Sometimes you're fucking annoying. Sometimes you're not what you think you are, and it's the fuck okay. But learn how to love yourself and do what's right for you without pushing boundaries and stepping over people. Because I'm telling you right now, you run across a bitch like me, I'm sending you to jail. That's just that. You run across another bitch, she gonna beat your ass until you motherfucking unalived. And they're not gonna have any remorse for you because you're running around here saying, I'm just so broken because he did this. Okay, and get up and move the fuck on. Love yourself. And I know it's a tall order and it never stops, but this is the best journey I've ever been on of self-love. Ever since I fell in love with myself, bitch, life has been looking lovely. And the moment you fall in love with yourself, life will be looking lovely because you'll be like, damn, I don't got time to be arguing with niggas. I got time to be arguing with bitches. Fuck them. Who cares? I've lost more friends and associates this year than I have any other time in my whole entire life. And I can tell you right now, I've been at the most peace that I have ever been in, that I will ever be. For the time being. Because I probably will be fucking enlightened one day. So with that being said, learn to love yourselves in reality.